Hi everyone and a warm welcome to this week's WARNO devblog. Today it's all about Milestone Victor, or Victor if you're feeling slightly more French about it. So Victor is bringing a brand new 10v10 map, which is a rework of Darkstream. It's also bringing updated T64 models, various quality of life improvements, a new debug salient operation, and significant balance changes. Yes, it's a big balance patch, and yes, we will be going through those notes at the end of this video. A quick reminder to everyone that this weekend is going to be the WARNO League Super Tournament number 2 from SD League. It runs the 2 days of the weekend. The primary castings and everything will be on the SD League channel. I'll be over there doing some casting with Protoss. Please do come along, join us, watch some of the games. It's obviously in the new patch here, so it's all going to be new tactics, new ideas, new memes, new meta. Though we're looking for up to 32 players for this tournament, so there might be a few spaces left. Please do go sign up if you're interested. The link will be down below in the description. So the first section, as always, is about the Milestone's namesake, our little historical primer. Claude Victor Perrin, the only French marshal who has gone to posterity with the nickname Victor, meaning victorious in Latin. Pretty gnarly, but Victor is a bit of a red herring because despite his name, like many others on the top echelons of La Grande Army, he was not up to leading an army corps. Becoming marshal was less about his skill and more because for a very long time he was Napoleon's friend. Just going to pause while I'm reading out to say, who says gnarly anymore? I haven't heard that term in a very long time. Anyway, moving on, always a subpar commander, one particular battle saw the fate of the whole army rest on Victor's shoulders, and for once he transcended his own mediocrity. In November 28th, 1812, which is the fateful day of the Berezina crossing, after a long retreat from Moscow, the remains of the French army were using makeshift bridges, with Victor's corps being the least mangled, used to cover the eastern bank. Greatly outnumbered and lacking any manpower for defense, he did the only thing he could do in the face of the Russian push. He attacked. Victor did this so skillfully, switching regiments with each advance, that the Russians thought the whole Grande Army was coming for them. Our commander stove off the Russians long enough to save many French soldiers, and that was Victor's claim to fame. Afterwards, personal blunders in 1813 and 1814 made Victor's position untenable in Napoleon's army. He played no further part in a subsequent fighting and political maneuvering of Napoleon's first exile, return, and fateful last battle. Victor died in 1841. Alright, now that that's out of the way, what are the Milestone's features? Well, first is the debug salient, one of the new operations. It's really fun. I really do recommend you check it out. It's quite a challenging one, especially towards the end. There is a new 10v10 map, an updated variant of Darkstream, a T64 visual rework for both the T64B and the T64BV. The deck editor has a new unit card drag and drop feature, so that's different. And there are major balance changes, which we're going to go into shortly. So the debug salient, a little bit more information. It's a new single player scenario, a French set piece. You'll get to control the rapid French 7E division blindy as it is redirected from south to Centag to hold crucial forward positions near Debug against the Soviet armored attack a week into the invasion. The Soviets are already knocking on Frankfurt's door, and the relief efforts of this important NATO city will depend on your expert defense of the debug salient, acting as a springboard for a further drive north. As a commander, deploy swiftly and use the full battle space for maneuvering. The open terrain is tank country, but enemy mobile SAMs are wreaking havoc on French air support. Take care of them first, defeat the continued heavy armor attacks, and wait for further French reinforcements to claim victory. As ever, please let Eugen know what you think of the new operation. Next up is the new 10v10 map, a version of Darkstream that has been reworked. Again, it was mentioned last week, but here is the picture again for those who maybe missed it. Next up is the new drag and drop feature in the deck builder. This is just a little bit of a quality of life improvement that has made its way into the UI. This basically allows you now to reorder the deck so that every unit will appear in a specific place, and this will translate into the game as well. However, there is still the auto sort by price feature if you are interested in that. And finally, the other thing to mention is obviously the T64 model update. As they did with the T72 and the T80, the T64 is getting a much needed visual overhaul. I really like the T64 as it is anyway, so any update is going to be beneficial in my mind. Alright gang, let's move on to the patch notes. It's fairly long, there's quite a lot here, and there's quite a lot of changes. We will try and address them as we go. We'll skip over the features section, we've already talked about that. Onto the operations, just to mention that the Kitsing and Ruse, after choosing fight to the death, the mission will now end on a victory when the player has no more units left on the battlefield. And a couple of adjustments to videos being smaller in Black Horse's Last Stand and Red Juggernaut. There's been a few changes for God of Damarung as well, so Aeroplane Platoons is now correctly named PAAR. They've replaced the main sections of Metis with Motsuchin PTR, and the remaining Motsuchin Metis are now using the SPW70 instead of the BMP, and they've fixed a few typos. There's a few code fixes which I'll leave up on the screen there. You can pause and have a look if you want, but I won't read through them as there's nothing jumping out as too exciting. Data fixes, however, there's a couple of interesting things. So first, improved Polish translation. That's great news for the Polish. Helicopter transported infantry now suffer damage as ground transported ones do when the vehicle is destroyed. Well, you know what my response is to that, don't you? Hell, it's about time. Next up is the AT cannon armor has been changed to the infantry category. Yes, that's right, health points have been reduced accordingly, but they will now be much more useful in the game. They have removed sorting impacts for HMG and MMG. They have also removed the sorting on automatic grenade launchers. They have fixed an issue with the Abrams recon tank threat level, and they have fixed a typo in the multiplayer menu and also fixed the Mancat trucks not using fuel. Okay, so generic changes, the big ones, the things that are going to affect everything. All ATGM missile speed has been increased by 10%. This is obviously part of dealing with the tank meta. All ATGM suppression is now plus 120%. All infantry anti-tank launchers, aka your RPGs, get plus 200% suppression, as well as plus 10% suppression splash. All tank guns are minus 10% suppression. All tank guns also have plus 10% dispersion. All tanks' rotation speed has been increased by 10%. In other words, yes, there is some nerfing being done here to the tanks. All autocannons except planes are minus 10% HE damage. Ground and helicopter autocannons accuracy divided by 3. Accuracy is now displayed at salvo accuracy instead of shot accuracy. The max AP of helicopter autocannons modified for 20mm is now 6 AP, 25mm is now 7 AP, and 30mm is now 8 AP. And finally, changed the effectiveness of several light munitions and autocannons on helicopters. Yes, I can hear the Gazelle cannon spammers crying in the background. The AGS-17 and Mark 19 grenade launcher splash has been reduced to 2 and 3 meters respectively. The next changes are for the self-propelled anti-aircraft guns. So at 5% accuracy they have been boosted up to 10%. All SPAG suppression has been increased by 5%. And finally, SPAG ground range has been increased by 175 meters. Couple of changes to anti-air. So the time between shots is set to 4 seconds for the Bucks, Cubs, Hawks and Rapier FSA, and the time between shots is 3 seconds for all other missile anti-air. Infantry weapons are no longer harmonized. HE and suppression are based on caliber. Small weapons HE has been modified. 9mm is now 0.0375. 5.56mm is now 0.04 and 7.62mm is now 0.0475. MMG HE and suppression has been modified. 5.56mm is now 0.375 HE and 6 suppression, and the 7.62mm is now 0.13 HE and 8 suppression. I'm unsure if that's a typo, by the way, because I feel like the 7.62mm should actually have a higher HE damage, but here it looks like it has less, so I'm a little bit confused. Oh well, the stress radius of all 5.56 and 7.62mm is set to 6 and 8 meters respectively. Reduce the splash damage of MG and MMG from 20 to 7 meters. All vehicle or tank 7.62mm MMGs have gained 175 meters to their range on ground and air. Well, I think they mean helicopters, not actual aircraft. Okay, the next one's a big one. There has been an overall pass on helicopter maneuverability. The shock trait aura has been reduced to 145 meters. There has also been a major pass on pricing with over 130 prices slightly modified. Command infantry overall price has been decreased. Smoke grenade duration has been reduced to 20 seconds. Decreased infantry anti-tank range from 850 to 750 meters where relevant. Plus 5% accuracy for all infantry anti-tank. Bolt action sniper rifles have had their range reduced by 175 meters. HE has been decreased to 0.13 HE. They now get 100 suppression and 60 ammo. Snipers of the semi-auto variety have a minus 350 meter range. HE has been decreased to 0.13. They now do 50 suppression and get 100 ammo. The semi-auto sniper rifle rate of fire has been set to 20. All engineers and sappers have had their availability reduced. All engineers cost plus 5 points. Satchels, AP and HE has been reduced to 1. Supply cost is now times 30. Flamethrower HE and suppression decreased to 0.5 HE and 125 suppression. Flamethrower range has been set to 350 meters. Flamethrower accuracy reduced to 45%. Infantry napalm launcher supply cost is now 2 times. Flash napalm launcher HE decreased to 0.5 and 100 suppression. RPO napalm launcher HE decreased to 0.6 and 125 suppression. Satchel charge rate of fire decreased from 15 to 4. The sniper trait characteristics have been changed. Sniper units gain plus 500% damage bonus, plus 1 stealth level, and accuracy bonus when not moving. The sniper must remain still for at least 10 seconds. Okay, moving on to the side-specific changes, which is quite a lot of pricing to be fair, but let's go for NATO. First, obviously, the Gepard 1A1 and AMX 13 DCA get more ammunition. Increased all PIVAD's price from 55 to 75 points. The UH-1 transport is now set to 35 points. Alouette 3 transport set to 30. Gazelle transport set to 30. Puma transport set to 40. Lynx transport set to 40. UH-60 transport set to 55, and the CH-47C transport set to 45 points. Next up are some major tank changes. Decrease the Chieftain Mark 9's availability per card from 9 to 8. Decrease the AMX 30B's availability per card from 12 to 9. Decreased AMX 30B2's availability per card from 9 to 8. Change the M60A3 base veterancy from XP2 to XP1. Decrease the M1A1 Abrams availability per card from 6 to 4. Number of cards changed accordingly where required. Decrease the M1A1 HA Abrams availability per card from 3 to 2. Number of cards changed accordingly. Decrease the Leopard 1A1's availability per card from 12 to 10. Decrease the Leopard 2A3's availability per card from 6 to 3, and number of cards changed accordingly. Decrease the Leopard 2A4's availability from 3 to 2. Number of cards again changed accordingly. Decreased the Panzer Grenadier Carl Gustav's availability per card from 9 to 8. Removed the Mirage F1C 200's XP1 choice. Increased Tornado F3's AA base veterancy from XP1 to XP2. Decreased the Chaparral's availability per card from 6 to 4, and number of cards have been changed accordingly. Decreased the PIVAD's availability per card from 9 to 8. Decreased the ABM167 Vulcan availability per card from 9 to 8. Moved the AH-1F-ATAS from the AA tab to the Helo tab. Increased the Air Mobile Scout's availability per card from 6 to 8. And all Jaguar GR1A renamed to GR1. More specifically, for the 5th Panzer Division, decreased the Panzer Grenadier M113's number of cards from 3 to 2, and decreased the Panzer Grenadier Marder's number of cards from 6 to 5. And the last change for NATO is decreased the AH-64 Apache rocket's number of cards from 4 to 2. Alright, let's move on to the Pact Forces. Decreased the Tunguska price from 185 to 175 points. The D44 AT guns price has been increased to 50 points. The AT12 AT guns price has been increased to 70. And the ZIS-2 anti-tank gun price has been increased to 40. The MI2T transport is set to 30 points, and the MI8T transport is set to 40 points. The D44, T12 Rapira and ZIS-2 anti-tank guns accuracy is down to 45%. They've decreased the 2K12 Cubs availability per card from 4 to 3. They've decreased the OSA's availability per card from 6 to 4. Number of cards have been changed accordingly. There's a typo on the next one. They have decreased the D30's 122mm cannon availability per card from 4 to 3. Unfortunately, they've written 12mm. They've moved the KA-50 Akula anti-air variant from the AA tab to the Helo tab. They've decreased the KPZ T55A availability per card from 12 to 10. They've increased the T55 AM2B's availability per card from 6 to 8. Now, it says here they have decreased the FUPZ T55 M2K3's price from 120 to 125, but I don't know if that's actually an increase or they've just mixed the numbers the wrong way round. I need to check that in game. They've decreased the KPZ T62 M1's availability per card from 12 to 10. They've increased the KPZ T64 MV's availability per card from 6 to 8. They've decreased the T72's base veterancy from XP2 to XP1. They've decreased the KPZ T72M's availability per card from 9 to 8. And they've decreased the KPZ T72 M1's availability from 9 to 6. They've decreased the T80B's availability per card from 9 to 8. They've decreased the T80BV's availability per card from 6 to 4, and number of cards have been changed accordingly. They've decreased the T80BV IZD39's availability per card from 6 to 4, and finally they have reduced the ammo count on the SU-22 UPK pod. Some of those tank names are too long. That brings us to the end of the official patch log and this week's dev blog. So thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, subscribe. Good luck checking out all of these changes. And remember, for anything that might be wrong or missing, please do check out the WarYes website. And apologies if I sound weird during this. Unfortunately, someone started using a jackhammer drill across the road while I was doing my recording. Thanks everyone, have a great weekend, but I know I'm going to see you all for the tournament on Saturday and Sunday.